Welcome everyone to the season of SRL Racing Action. It's been a long time since, it feels like a long time anyway, since season 1 ended. We're finally back and raring to go again here at Australia. I've missed this a lot. I've missed some great racing action. So it's great to be back. So I'm really looking forward to this. Good luck to all the drivers, of course, who are driving today. Let's have a good season, lads. In terms of new drivers, we have Fletcher, who dominated the pre-season race last week. So we'll be interested to see how he copes today. I believe Varmesto is new as well, is he? Jack plays new as well. I told them what new ones anyway that I can recognise. So welcome to the league, guys. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Of course, the championship went down to the wire last season, if you remember. And then right at the end, hang on, if we get this back up, yeah. Tino managed to grab it after a pretty disastrous race for Nico, who was winning it. Didn't really need to finish too high in the points, but in the end he finished out of them, I believe. And that got Tino the championship. So who's going to win the championship this season, I wonder? Plenty of top contenders, so I'm not going to make a prediction at all. I'll wait to see what happens after this first race to make my prediction. But of course, Carcraft, who we're highlighted on now, of course, was a standout last season. Putting some very good performances. Ended up finishing P3 in the driver's standings, so he had a decent season. I'm sure he'll want to kick on. Too Late Mate as well, who had a good pre-season. We'll be looking to bring that form into the new season as well, I assume. We're just waiting on a few more people before we get going again, I believe. And apologies if my voice is a little bit messed up. I've just been watching Liverpool's game and shouting a lot, so my voice isn't the best. So, we're waiting on. Looks like we're just about to get underway for qualifying. In just a few seconds, so good luck to all the drivers. Have a good qualifying session. And let's have a good battle for the coveted pole position that everybody will be desperate to get. So here we are for qualifying. Just put all everything that we need on. We'll do that as well. So let's see who's going to come out first. It looks like Wet Boy and Drugs is going to opt to come onto the medium side to start quali. Couple others as well, Junior doing the same along with Dank. Yeah, they all as they come onto the track. So it looks like most people have come out, only ones that aren't out are Scotty, Junior and Harry. Other than that, everybody else is out for a quick lap to set a benchmarker, by the looks of things. So who's going to set the early pace here? Yellow flags in sector 3, just for slow cars. We're on board here with the Ferrari of Liam. For a second, as he keep it nice and tidy there. Very nice indeed. As he enters the second sector. We'll jump on board with Bob Sadder, who is on the final sector of his lap. Wonder what he can do as he comes round the final corner. What lap time is he going to set? He is going to set a 121.3 as Mr. Cyclist goes fastest with 120.5. Carcraft comes across the line for 120.4 and Envision smashes that by a couple of attempts to go almost into the 119s as Liam does. That's a mega lap, that. Almost a full second quicker than Vision. Very good lap from him. Fletcher does a nice good start with a 119.5, puts him in P2. Well, that's a benchmark and a half from Liam set there. I think he'll be very pleased with that. Upside of here a little bit. Compromise by Mr. Stickless here. As he comes around the final corner and is going to just jump into the pit. We're on board here with Fletcher. He comes around the final corner. Is he going to jump in the pits? Yes, he is. Well, our Scottish Fennell's going across the line. The validator's laps is going to go again, by the looks of things. Let's see what he can do. Keeps it nice and tidy there. There's a purple sector actually there. That was a very good sector from Scotty. Should set himself up nicely for the second part of the lap. Very close to the bar there, but doesn't touch it. Goes a bit wide there. Not the best through that sector, Scotty. But still looking like it's going to be a decent lap. You just running out of VRS here at the end of the lap, Scotty. As he comes round the final corner. Has to come off the power there just to avoid going into the wall. And Scotty is going to set a 122.4 and leave him in P11. Meanwhile, a couple of drivers out for another run. Barmesto and Yari, who both haven't set lap times yet. Dank, another one of those drivers that hasn't set a lap time yet. Dank, who was my faithful co-commentator for the final Nations League race last week. I wonder if he could put in as good of a lap as he did during the commentary. And just for him, he's showing some serious talent, this handsome young lad. That's how he gets out of the way for him. See where Dank is going to finish, or is he going to go in the pits now? He's going to come around the final corner. What can he do? And Dank's first time lap is going to be a 121.7, only good enough for P11 at the moment. So far, nobody getting close to Liam's time of a 119. Plenty of time to go in quali, of course. Still got 9 minutes. I would be very surprised if that time wasn't beaten by the end of quali, but we shall wait and see. Meanwhile, Yari after that run got himself up into P4 for 120.1. Very nice lap from him. Meanwhile, Carcraft, who finished P3 in the championship last season. What can he do? Can he improve on his P5 so far? And Carcraft sets a 119.9, gets himself up to P3 now. Not bad at all from Carcraft. Another driver. Good paces vision, just set a purple sector 2. So clearly seeing Carcraft go above him has woke him up a bit and want to go a little bit quicker, I suppose. Well, this is looking very nice from Vision actually. Attacking the corners with great speed. A little bit wide there. Ooh, and he's gone. He's invalidated his lap. That's a real shame for Vision. He's looking decent as well. Meanwhile, Chaba Harris stays P8. Meanwhile, we're on board here with Too Late Mate. Get one of 4 drivers not to set a lap time yet. Comes round the final corner. Keeps it nice and tidy there. What time is this going to be for Too Late Mate? It's going to be a 119.5, gets himself into P3, mega lap from him. Just unbelievably close to Fletcher's time, but not enough to beat him. Meanwhile, we're on board here with Varmesto in the Ferrari, yet to set a lap yet. What can he do on these soft tyres? Keeps it nice there, nice and tidy. Gets it close to the wall, but not too close that he hits it. Oh, he goes a little bit wide there, will compromise himself a bit, but he gets away with it. As he enters the final sector of the lap. His teammate, of course, is on provisional pole at the moment, so he'll be looking to try and get himself up there. Oh, he's a huge lock up, and that is going to ruin his lap time, I'm afraid. Meanwhile, Fletcher currently in P2, just went a couple of attempts faster in Sector 2 and in Sector 1, so he's improving, but is he improving enough to beat Liam's time? Keeping it nice and steady there, doesn't lose the back end at all. This is looking very nice from Fletcher as he comes around the final corner onto the start-finish straight. What lap time is he going to set? He's going to set a 119.016, and that is enough to put him on provisional pole. A mega lap from Fletcher, and now Liam has to respond if he wants pole. There's not a lot in that at all, but fair play to Fletcher, that's a mega lap that. Meanwhile on board with P6 Yari. Currently he's done a 120.1 as his fastest lap time. He's looking to improve on that, but he's invalidated his lap through a corner cut, and that will be the end of that run. Sure, he'll jump into the pits to get on some fresher tyres for the final run at final lap of quali. Meanwhile, back on board with Dank. Looking to improve on that 121.7. Wanting to keep it nice and steady there. Very nice. What's this going to be? It's going to be a 121.3, so it does make him quicker, but it gets him up into P15. So just over 3 minutes to go now. A load of drivers out a couple of drivers out doing an out lap. Some still in the pit waiting for perfect time to come out. But so far, Fletcher and Liam have left the pack behind in qualifying. So we're going to stay on board with Liam as he starts his potential last lap of quali, but we'll wait and see. Gets a little bit onto the apex there, but never mind, doesn't compromise him too much. Meanwhile, Max gets out the way for him. Liam does the fastest sector 1. So great news for him in terms of where he wants to be to try and get provisional pole back off Fletcher. As we get a nice overview shot of Liam just about to get onto the sector 3. He's looking very good here, he's attacking the corners nicely. He's just got to get around this final 2 corners. Liam was on provisional pole. Is he going to get it back here with this lap time? He's going to do a 118.7, and that definitely puts him back onto provisional pole. A mega lap once again from Liam. That is outstanding. And that's one way to send a message to everyone. Beat that. As we enter the final minute of qualifying, we're on board with Vision. Currently in P5 just set a fastest sector 2. His fastest is currently a 120.043. You'll have to improve it quite a lot to get into that top 4. We'll wait and see. There's a little bit of a lock up there. Ooh, went a bit wide. I thought he was going to hit the wall there, and he does invalidate his lap, unfortunately for him. We're on board with Yari, currently in P6. Just a tenth or so behind Vision, whose lap has just been invalidated. So that's probably the end of his qualifying, actually. Unless he's going to go again. And that's the end of qualifying for Wet Boy on Drugs, Dank and Junior. Liam jumps out the way for Yari. Ooh. Just lost the front end a little bit. Might have cost him a little bit of time here. He comes around the final corner. We get a nice overview shot of it. Is Yari going to be able to improve on his time? He is. He's going to set a 119.8. Keeps him in P5. It's too late, mate. Comes around the final corner. What can he do? Can he get himself up the grid? He gets us a 119.3, so it does go a couple of tenths quicker, but not enough. As Fletcher spins, and that looks like that's going to be pole position for Liam, unless someone can pull something out of the hat. But I don't think so. I believe F1 is finished now, and that is the end of qualifying. And Liam taking everyone by storm, going 3 tenths faster, 2 or 3 tenths faster than Fletcher to take pole. What a lap from the Ferrari driver. Fletcher put in a good time as well, got himself up onto P2, so he is on the front row in his first race in Season 2. So I'm sure he'll still be quite happy with that, but what a lap from Liam, it has to be said. Teammate Mate does well as well, gets himself onto P3. Carcraft will join him on the second row. Yari and Vision will be on the third row. Chopper and Max on the fourth row, and the game decided to ruin the standings for me. Whitey very impressed with that lap time by Liam. And rightly so, it was a mega lap from him, that puts him on pole. Meanwhile, Wetboy and Jogs and Mr. Sickless will be on the fifth row. Harry and Van Messer on the sixth. Bob Sadder and Jack on the 7th, Liam and Dank on the 8th, and Scotty and Junior are on the back row. Wow, well that sets up the race very nicely. The new guys clearly have no respect for the drivers from last season, because they've just absolutely smashed them out the way to take the top 3 positions in qualifying. So it looks like we're going to have dry weather for this race. So it doesn't look like it's going to rain, so there'll be no hiccups in that regard. But good to see a couple of people in the chat. I do appreciate you dropping by. Hope you enjoy the stream. Let me know who you want to, or you think, or who you want to win in the comments. If you are a racer, of course, good luck in the race. Keep it nice and clean and have a good one. When the game finally decides to put us onto the grid, so we can see the grid. So we can see what tyres everybody is on. We know what the top 10 are on, but of course, if you're outside the top 10, you can basically start whatever you want. So, interestingly, Harry and Dank are on the mediums. Liam 1990 is on the mediums as well, is on the hards, is the only driver on the hards, so I'm sure that'll be, is that a one-stop strategy we think, hard to soft maybe? We'll wait and see. There we are. Meanwhile, Mr. Stickless and Harry have been disqualified from the formation lap, so I'm assuming there's a wee collision between them two, which has meant that they now do not get the opportunity to warm up their tyres during the formation lap. They are just on the grid waiting to start, which means their tyres will not be warm when the race starts, so they are definitely at a disadvantage. As Liam comes round, a couple of corners left before we the drivers will rejoin their positions back on the grid to get this SRL F1 Season 2 underway here at Australia. I'm looking forward to this one. It should be an absolute cracker. Well, Max seems to have also got disqualified from the formation lap. But here we are, all the... Oh, we've got a network error. Has the stream gone down, guys? Can you let me know? I'm not 100% sure. Thank you very much, Hijack Gaming, mate. Much appreciated, thank you. That's just my computer, as we have 5 red lights. And away we go. The camera, can it fix itself, I wonder? Ooh, so a bit of contact at the start. At the top, the leaderboard's a little bit of a mess. As we have a yellow flag and a safety car as well. Scotty Fennell getting himself a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Vermesto. Let's have a wee look. And Yari is actually out the race. So I wonder if that was to do with something to do with that incident as well, but that's a real shame that Yari's out. And we have our first safety car after only the first couple of corners. It will be interesting to find out what exactly happened at the back there. But we have a full safety car out. So I wonder if any of the drivers will maybe go into the pit. Only lap 1, of course, but does any fancy getting off the softs and going onto a harder compounded tyre straight away? We'll wait and see, of course. As Too Late Mate appears to have got himself into the lead of the race before we stopped there, so Liam and Fletcher both drop down a place and Too Late Mate takes the lead. Meanwhile, Dan got himself a very good start, got himself up into P9, although a couple of those probably were from penalties, and Scotty Fennell's got himself a 5-second time penalty for speed in the pit lane, so it doesn't get any better for Scotty, I'm afraid. As Vision pits as well. But I just wonder if there's hold on. If we can have a look here. What happened? So according to Yari, he got pushed out wide and went into the wall and DNF'd. So it could potentially be something to do with that incident that we saw between Scotty and Van. Yeah, not too much to say about that, unfortunately. Just take a wee look at this again very quickly. So we mentioned Dan got himself up a few places. Looks like Junior got himself up quite a few places, up into P13 from back of the grid. Not bad from him. Bob Sider did very well from P13 up to P7 now. Meanwhile, on the flip side of that, Vision dropped down a load of places down into P15 because of that instance. He's had to pit again. He's had to pit already, I think. Potentially. Has he had to pit again, actually? Hang on. Yes, he has. As well, Mesto just coming out of the pits now. He'll be at the back, but he should be able to catch the safety car at Q. I'll be pretty confident to say. Should we have a wee quick look at the race director while the safety car is in? So there's only a couple of incidents. As you can see, Scotty Fennell got a 5-second penalty for a collision with Varnesto. But we didn't see the incident clearly, so I'm not too sure if that's a justified penalty or not. Of course, unfortunately, Yari is already out of the race after the first couple of corners. But we press on. Hopefully when we get going again, we'll actually get some racing action going. As we learn that the safety car will be in this lap. So what will happen now is that the safety car will just rush off into the distance, try and get into the pit lane, and then it will be up to Tool on the start-finish straight to start accelerating, and we will go racing once again. We've got a very intriguing battle here between Too Late Mate Liam and Fletcher. Of course, Carcat will be in the mix, I'm sure, as well. As we go back to the front of the grid for the race start. As we cross the finish line, start-finish line, the race resumes. As Chopper and Bob Sadder going side by side from each other. And Bob Sadder will take that position and gets up into P6. No messing around from Bob Sadder there, that's for sure. So Liam's managed to pull himself out of the DRS of Fletcher already. After that, it's only half of a lap so far. As Fletcher gets himself a 3-second time penalty as well, maybe just trying to push just to keep within DRS of Liam. So Liam here still will have DRS yet. It'll be enabled probably at the end of the next lap. So he has no DRS to help him get past Tool, so has to stay in behind him for now. Dan got himself on the grass a little bit there. He doesn't seem to compromise himself too much. Meanwhile, the battle for first place continues. And the Liam would have got himself a little warning there for a corner cutting. So locks up just a little bit there. Might compromise him just a little bit, get Liam just a tiny bit closer to him. We can get the better exit here. It looks like Liam has got a decent exit, but so has Tool. There's still no DRS enabled. As it is enabled now, I'm not sure if they would have got it to Claire or not, as Fletcher sets the fastest lap of the race of 1:23.9. Meanwhile in the midfield, Max is hunting down Chopper at the moment in the battle for P7. Not too many places to overtake cleanly in Australia, so one of them is coming up very shortly. Unfortunately, he's just not quite close enough to make a move yet, Max, and he stays in P8. Meanwhile, Vision picks up a 3 second time penalty, and Junior, that was a mad corner cut, but it doesn't look like he's been given a penalty, so he's got away with it. As Vision gets past Dank to take P10. Meanwhile, the battle for at the top is really heating up now, as Liam just starting to put more pressure on Too Late Mate now. As we're on lap 7 of this race. Oh, he goes to the outside, goes on the grass. Oh, they do touch. Liam just not able to brake quick enough, and they touch wheels. Doesn't like there's too much major damage, and Too Late Mate keeps the position, but Liam is definitely making his... Oh no, and as I say that, sadly Liam loses it on the corner and has damaged his front wing, and that is certainly going to hurt his race. That was a shame for Liam, that, as we have yellow flags in sector 2. And he's really struggling, he's lost his front wing, he's really struggling, he's definitely going to have to pit. As Bob Sadder does a nice wee move on Wet Boy on Drugs, very nice move from Bob Sadder, and promotes himself up into P4. Very good work indeed. Meanwhile on board Mr. Tickles, who makes light work of Liam, who is definitely going to have to pit in a second. It's a real shame, but he was putting pressure on Too Late Mates, but maybe too much too early, and he's ended up losing the car. As a couple of drivers decide to pit, as now Junior has put himself in the wall, and that's a shame for him, and he's going to definitely have to pit after that. So what this means is now Fletcher's been let off the leash, if you like, and is now the one challenging Too Late Mates for P1. As Junior adds insult to injury by getting himself a 5 second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He's not the first driver to do that, of course, today. Okay. So Fletcher here putting a little bit of pressure on Too Late Mate here. We're on lap 7 now, so wonder if someone's thinking about an undercut here. We shall wait and see. And as I say that, Fletcher does indeed jump into the pit and try the undercut. So that promotes Carcraft into P2. As there's yellow flags in sector 3 again. Not sure exactly what it's for. Meanwhile, the back here, Liam thinking about making a move on Harry then. Sort of it. But it looks like he's going to get the move done here. Harry giving him a bit of a squeeze here, I've got to say. Giving this up, they've touched a little bit there as well, and again. But it looks like Liam has got the move done. He's got to go onto the grass. They're still side by side, and then Harry just gives him another little knock, and he's put him in the wall, and I think Liam's lost another bit of his front wing. And it's turning into a disastrous of a race for Liam, who did so well in qualifying. And his race is being ruined here with incidents. Meanwhile, Chopper trying to go on the inside of Dank. I don't think it was there. Dank defended strong there, but he was entitled to do so. Luckily, both drivers escape any damage happening. Meanwhile, Carcraft jumps into the pits, as does Vision and Mr. Spiculus. So most of these drivers jumping onto the hard tyres, apart from Max, of course, who has decided to jump onto mediums. So we'll see here, Liam's going to have to unfortunately jump into the pits again. A real shame for the Ferrari driver, who is probably going to end up in last position now. But meanwhile at the front here, the top three still haven't pitted yet. Bob Sadder, Wet Boy on Drugs, and Jack Plays. I wonder if they're going to pit now though. Maybe jump onto a harder compound of tyres. Bob Sadder, was he losing just a little bit there? I'm not 100% sure. And Bob Sadder deciding to extend his soft tyre stint. Wet Boy and Drugs deciding not to. And Jack, alongside with Bob Sadder, stays out on the soft tyres. With Scotty Fennell, not too, well, 5 seconds behind him. Not 5 seconds. Not too far behind him on the medium tyres. Meanwhile, Chopper still fighting with Dank here for P14 at the moment. He is going to get the RS on Dank Chopper here, but I think he's going to be a bit too far back to make a move happen here. And indeed that is the case. So at the moment, if you look at the pit stops, Fletcher is leading this race pretty much because the drivers in front have to pit. Meanwhile, there's yellow flags in sector 1. Not 100% sure what that is for. Meanwhile, Scotty Fennell has caught up to Varmesto here. Of course, on the faster tyre, as Bob Sadder and Jack do decide to pit now. And Varmesto and Scotty take the lead of the race. Meanwhile, 3-second time penalty for Dank for corner cutting warnings. Scotty's tyres, of course, will be faster than the hards. Which is probably why he is catching Varmesto a bit here. Meanwhile, Vision gets himself past Bob Sadder into P5. Good, still a little bit of a mess after pit stops. But Scotty fell. Just lost touch of Barmesto a little bit there. Ooh, thought he was going to lose it on that corner. I was very lucky not to. I lost it there myself in my race before. Luckily, I didn't hit the barriers. And it so easily could. It's a very dangerous part of the track. As Scotty needs just to stay in DRS of Barmesto here. But I think Scotty's just starting to struggle a little bit on those medium tyres, which he's been on since, well, basically the first lap. As he jumped into the straight up that safety car. And my yellow flags in sector 3, and Dank is out of this race. You can see his yellow dot there on your screen. Not sure what's happened. And that is going to bring out a full safety car. It's the second full safety car of the race. And this might have just played into Scotty Fennell's hands here. If he wants to get off those medium tyres, we'll wait and see. We're a couple of laps shy of the halfway mark so far, so it'll be interesting to see. And I wonder, I'm only speculating here, so I'm not sure on accusations, but I wonder if that was something to do with an incident between him and Chopper. We've seen a couple of occasions where they both touched a few times. I wonder if there's something's happened there, but it's a shame for Dank, who is now out of this race and becomes the second retirement at this Australian Grand Prix. As Barmesto and Scotty both deciding to pit, it's a no-brainer. You lose lap time under a safety car, as there's a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Max Jong for Mr. Stickless. So I don't know what's happened there, as there are loads of drivers jumping into the pits now, as Mr. Stickless takes the lead of this race now, with Jack just behind. Barmesto, decent pit stop, he's already dropped down into P3 and is now on medium tyres, along with Fletcher. But you've got to say, Mr. Stickless, you must be thinking about making those hard times at the end of the race. We'll wait and see. Jack only been on those mediums for 2 laps, probably can make them to the end as well, so it'll be interesting to see how long those drivers' tyres can last. We'll have a look at the penalties here, so yeah. So Mr. Stickless has 8 seconds of penalties, as does Jack. Fletcher's got 3 seconds, Harry with 6, Vision with 6, and Max with 3, and Junior with 6 at the back. So maybe that's going to come into play here. We shall wait and see. Well, we're getting a little bit close to Fletcher there, but no problems. So let's just take a moment to just take a breathe, everyone. So it's been a very eventful race so far. And I wonder if Liam is going to consider pitting in just a moment. He is on the soft tyres, but he will have to pit again, there's no doubt about that. I wonder if he's going to pit and get on some harder tyres to go to the end. I don't believe the safety car's in this lap, so he should be able to catch the queue back up again. But Liam does not do that, interestingly. Liam Jr. is a lap down, hence why he is in that position. So let's hope the safety car is in this lap so we can get going once again. I've got to say, Mr. Stickless on those hard tyres. I think he's going to be under pressure from Jack right from the start. When we get going again here, Jack definitely warming up his tyres here, must be thinking the same thing. Of course, you have to be careful that Varmesto has just got on medium tyres himself. Doesn't make an attempt to get past him into P2. And the safety car is in this lap as expected, so it will shoot off into the distance. The Mercedes safety car. The motorcycles will just back up everyone here for just a second, just to allow it to get into the pits. And we will get going very, very shortly. We're on lap 15, we'll be on lap 16 when we get going again. Just over half, we're just at the halfway point now of this race. I hope everyone watching has taken this safety car as an opportunity to go and get something to drink and eat, because this is going to be a very exciting second half of this race, I can tell. As Sickles comes onto the start-finish straight, as we can now go racing once again here. As there's a car span on sector 1, and it is Fletcher who seems to have just lost it on the apex there, and Fletcher's gone down to P10. That's a shame for him, but I don't think he got any damage, so it could be worse, but it's a shame for him. As there's now yellow flags in sector 2, I can see a car at the side. If I can see two cars, it's Carcraft and Vision is now out of this race and becomes our third retirement of this Australian Grand Prix. I wonder if there's going to be a safety car deployed here. It's going to be a virtual safety car. Wow, so many incidents happened in such a short space of time. So once again, Mr. Stickless must drop his speed, drop his delta, before we can get going once again. Just have a wee quick look at see if I can find anything else. Well, definitely not a lot of patience being shown by the drivers, I've got to say. There's been a lot of occasions where you've just thought, just hang back a little bit, this is not a place to overtake, and yet they still try it, but maybe that's just to do with the fact of how hard it is to overtake on this track. As we go racing once again, after that virtual safety car. Cut in the corner a little bit there, Jack, please. Meanwhile, Too Late Mate currently in P7. Looking to get himself up the grid. He's got Bob Sadder and Harry Colley in his way at the moment, as they have their own little battle. I wonder if Bob Sadder can get himself a good exit, if Harry will be struggling to defend on those hard tyres. DRS is now enabled at the perfect time for Bob Sadder. There's a three-way battle happening here now between Harry, Bob Sadder and Tool as we come to turn 1. Harry keeps the position, and there is no change. Meanwhile, Chopper looking to get past Liam here. He's going to go to the inside, backs out a little bit, knowing that the only thing that happened there was contact between the two drivers, so fair play to Chopper for jumping out of that one. Meanwhile, we've got another yellow flag in Sector 3, and Fletcher is now out of this race. And that is a shame for the driver who started P2 in this race, is now out of this race. And I wonder if there's going to be a sort of safety car, or if we're going to, because of where he has crashed, going to be able to avoid it. We shall wait and see as Jack gets good DRS here on Mr. Stickles. So yellow flag of course though, so can't overtake yet. In Sector 1. There he's lost his car there. So I wonder if something happened there as Jack brakes very late there. Really compromises himself. But Mr. Stickles had a little bit of an off there on that turn as well, so no change really happens in terms of the distance between the two. Meanwhile, Bob Sider gets himself onto the grass there. That's compromised him a little bit. And that'll be music to Too Late Mate's ears here. There's another yellow flag in Sector 3. By the looks of things. And is that Max out of this race potentially? Have a quick look. He's crashed, he's not out. Might just keep the car going, but I think he does have damage. That's a real shame for Max. Meanwhile, back to Too Late Mate and Bob Sadder's battle for P6. As Bob Sadder will get to that's the break a bit there. Now Bob Sadder might want to get himself past Harry here. He's under pressure from Too Late Mate. So maybe the best form of defence is attack on this as we enter lap 20. As they enter lap 20 I should say. But still no change Bob Sadder. He's gaining a little bit on Harry here. Oh, he's very close to him here. Has to brake to stop himself going in the back of Harry. And if you look in the distance, it could become a 4 or 5 way battle as Liam is now getting close and Too Late Mate has had enough and he's gone on the outside of Bob Sadder. Very nice move indeed from him, and that promotes him up into P6, and now he can get himself after Harry here. There's another yellow flag in Sector 3. And it looks like Max is now out of this race and becomes our 5th retirement. As Tool tries to go to the outside of Harry. Almost makes it stick, not quite. Harry holds on to the position. He'll get the RS now, Too Late Mate. Harry desperately trying to hold on. He goes to the inside, tries to defend nice and strong, and does manage to keep Too Late Mate behind him. But for how much longer? We go to the inside now of the Renault driver. They go side by side. And looks like Harry's held on to the position. As Bob Sadder fancies getting back at Too Late Mate now. So much drama happening in this race, it's hard to keep up. As Jack is now taking the lead of this race, I believe, as We stay on board here with Bob Sadder, who goes side by side with Too Late Mate. And he actually might fancy doing a double move here and getting past Harry. They both leave each other room. Harry has to cut the corner a bit there and has got himself a time penalty. And Bob Sadder is going to go, oh, Too Late Mate, very sneaky wee move, gets past Bob Sadder and they're 3 wide. Going here. In fact, there's a 5-way battle there, as you can see that shot. And Bob Sadder's been compromised and now he's down into P8. And he'll get Liam back here, who's got damage. Who's got front wing damage by the looks of things and has to jump into the pits. So much stuff to keep up with there. Liam has now got himself a 5-second time penalty. As Too Late Mate has got past Harry and is now in P5. And Bob Sadder's now going to get Harry as well by the looks of things. And he is going to keep that move done and get himself into P6. Brilliant driving from all there. I think there was unfortunately an incident that Liam got caught up with there, which is a shame, but what a battle. It was hard to keep up. Meanwhile, let's jump on board up top with Mr. Stickerless, who's just picked himself up another penalty. Both drivers are now back to similar penalties. Let's go on a lap. We're just coming on to a lap 23 now of this Grand Prix. So many possessions still up for grabs, so many battles still happening on track. Harry Cully, oh, he's lost it there completely. Don't think he's got damage, I'm not too sure. I think he tapped the ball, don't think he hit it too hard, but that's allowed Chopper Harris to get ahead of him, and Harry's now down into P8 and Chopper is in P7. So 6 laps to go. Because Mr. Stickless and Jack Plays are on similar penalties, it's going to come down to who finishes ahead of who on the tracks, who's going to win this race. But Jack Plays definitely got the advantage here because, I'd say, at the moment, but he's been on medium tyres and he might start to fade in a couple of laps time. Well, he might be starting to fade now, actually, to be fair. And Mr. Stickless is on hard tyres, which still should be okay if he's been looking after them. As Jack locks up there, compromising himself. Mr. Stickless gets himself a good exit there onto the start-finish straight. And he's got the RS on Jack. Might be a bit too far back to make a move happen here. But we'll stay on board with them. Of course, both teammates at AlphaTauri, so you wonder how much each other are going to push each other, because this would be a phenomenal start to the season in terms of the constructors for AlphaTauri. But for the neutrals watching, we want to see some good racing action as Liam does the fastest lap of the race with 1:23.1. We're going to abandon this battle at the moment because it looks like Chopper's getting quite close to Bob Sadder here. Chopper is gaining. It's not the best place to overtake there, so you have to stay in behind him. But if you can stay with him, you might be able to make a move on the start-finish straight. We'll compromise a little bit there, but we must have lost too much time on Bob Sadder. Chopper still doesn't have a penalty, of course, so wonder how much he's going to fight Bob Sadder here for this position, having known that. And not too much by the looks of things. Meanwhile, back at the top of the field, Barmesto is quietly just still behind the top two here, but he's been on his medium tyres, just a couple of laps less than Jack has, and of course he's been on a couple of laps longer, less than Mr. Stickles. Bad English there, but we'll move on. So he just needs to try and stay with Mr. Stickles here. Meanwhile, we're going to abandon this battle to go back to Chopper Harris and Bob Sada. Bob Sada, of course, has a 3-second time penalty. And it doesn't look like Chopper is really pushing too much to get past him here. He is gaining a little bit there though. Probably been quite unwise to battle him too much and cost each other time. Well, a bit of a lock up from Jack there. Might allow Mr. to get a little bit closer to his teammates. Meanwhile, Varmesto just staying in touch 1 second DRS zone, but he is losing touch a little bit here, you can see. I wonder if he's going to get DRS here, we'll wait and see. Of course, his problem is that Mr. Stickles is getting DRS still on. But we're on lap 27, couple of laps to go. At the moment, not too much action happening on the track after was a very hectic first 2/3 of this race. Seems to just have calmed down a little bit. We of course lost Max, Fletcher, Vision, Dank and Yari in this race, which meant that due to some of those incidents we've had 2 safety cars, as there's a yellow flag in sector 3. Not sure who for though. In fact, Mr. Stickles who's now out of this race. Oh my word, what a shame that is. Well, AlphaTauri, who were on for a very good 1-2 points finish, that's never not happening now because Mr. Stickles has binned it and is out of the race. And that's promoted Scotty onto the podium positions into P3. Barmesto still got 1.5 seconds behind Jack, but crucially look at the penalty difference. I'm not sure if he was going to win anyway. But Barmesto is winning this race now because of penalties. And what a shame that is for Mr. Stickles, who becomes our 6th retirement of this race. And it looks like he has just lost it on that, coming out of this long bendy part of the track, and he's just lost it just about here. That looks like what happens. And after saying it's turning into a pretty quiet end to this race. That happens. So maybe a bit of commentator's curse there, which I do apologise to Mr. Stickles for, but that is so gutting for him. Meanwhile, too late, mate. Might fancy a go on Scotty for a place on the podium positions. He's gaining on Scotty here. Where's he going to go, to the outside? No, he's going to stay in behind him. But he's only going to have one more lap to get the move done if he's going to do it. I wonder if he's going to have a sender here in the inside of Scotty. He is. And has he got the move done? It looks like he has. Very nice move from Too Late Mate. And that's promoted him onto P3. So we're on board here on the final lap of this race with Jack, who has driven a very nice race today, but looks like because of penalties, he's going to win the race on track, but he's going to demote himself. Down into P3 maybe? Maybe lower than that, but we'll see as Jack crosses the line. And he also took himself another penalty for not serving one. So Varmesto wins the race through penalties. Tool takes P2. And it looks like Jack's furthest he's going to drop down is P3, so he will stay on the podium positions. As Bob Sada crosses the line into P6. Harry into P7. Wet Boy on the final corner is going to take P8, I think. Liam gets himself another penalty for not serving one, potentially for speeding in the pit lane like we saw before. Carcraft takes P10, and that is the end of the race. Wow, what a mad one. So it is a Ferrari that wins this race, but it's not the one that we thought was going to do it. It's a very good drive from Varmesto, it has to be said, and he takes the first win of season 2 in SRL F1. Congratulations to him. It's a race that I'm sure is going to keep the stewards very busy. A load of incidents happened, which I'm sure will be sorted out. But Varmesto takes P1. Too Late Mate gets himself P2, starts at P3 onto P2. Very good work from him. Jack done very well, but because of penalties drops down into P3. Scotty P4. Chopper Harris takes P5. Bob Sada with P6. Harry Colley P7. Wet Boy on Drugs P8. Liam P9. Carcraft P10. Liam P11. Junior P12. Mr. Sickles P13. And of course Max, Fletcher, Vision, Dank and Yari did not finish the race. Wow, what a race. My driver of the day is going to have to go to Varmesto for me. Starts in P12, wins this race. Could be Jack, but unfortunately penalties dropped him down to P3. So my driver of the day could be a boring one, but I don't think you can look away from what Varmesto did in that car today. Very good work from him. And he takes the win. Wow guys, what a race. I hope you guys enjoyed that one as much as I did. Well done to all the drivers that participated. And yeah, we will see you guys next week for round 2. Until then, guys, take care, have a lovely evening, or whatever time it is, wherever you are. Take care, all the best.